Hello everybody and welcome to another Peteman Reviews. Today we have the Generations release of Arcee. This is actually the first official Hasbro release of Arcee. She's one of the movie characters in 1986 and they never figured out how to release a toy for her. Kind of makes you wonder what the point of having the movie character without a toy available was, given that the whole point of the cartoon, the movie especially, was to introduce a new toy range. But never mind, we've got her now, many years after being done. While the Generations release does have some links back to Arcee's origins, really it's more based on the IDW version of Arcee, in the fact that she comes with weapons, with swords, and quite a lot of guns as well. So it makes Arcee, instead of being a Transformer who's a girl, her thing now is she is an assassin, a warrior. Which is a far better gimmick to have anyway. So in, what would you call it, coupe mode, open top mode, she kind of transforms into a retro styled, futuristic, streamlined car. If I take the weapons off, it's perhaps a bit more obvious. So similar to how they did with Cup and Hot Rod in the original releases, they gave them kind of 50s streamlined styling, but also tried to make them futuristic, and the toy release continues with that theme. It's extremely bulky at the front, and more tapered at the rear, and it's got obviously the streamlined part here, which actually is quite reminiscent of Scourge, who has a similar kind of head streaming as well. Detailing is pretty decent. It's got nice seats in it. You can see you might not be able to see, but there's a little steering wheel there. It rolls quite well. It's not too bad at all. Bit light on the detailing. The only real details are you've got some front lights, a sticker, but there's no rear lights or anything like that. But it's not too bad. Okay, so the reason obviously Arcee was never released before was they would struggle with the transformation to create quite a sleek, streamlined Transformer out of the figures here. So they've solved that now, and it does make a bit bulky in areas, but it works alright. So we'll start off with the rear of the car. This, I zoom out a bit, it just makes it a bit easier to see. So this part here flips up. You can kind of see how it doesn't quite, the seams don't quite line up, so you can see where the transformations. So that flips up, and if you flip to the underneath of the car, you can see all the different sections. So this is one of the legs, flips down like that. Same deal with that leg too. You then just pop the legs in, and pop the legs in like that. Feet, just rotate like that, and rotate like that. You can move them up and down so they are posable. Now the arms just come like that, and then you need to flip this part up here, because this is actually the head. The rest of it is all kibble, certainly for the robot mode. So these all flips like that. What we are looking to do here is to probably helps to just wiggle a little bit, because everything's all clicks into place. Wiggles down, that goes like that. This is all a covering, so it covers up the inner workings here. And then finally, all this part, the bonnet and everything, flips around, and it is kibble on the back of the car. Before we do that, however, it's worth just flipping this up to get that out of the way. So all this kibble here just goes to the back and out of the way. As you can see, everything kind of wants to move at once, so you kind of have to just try and move one part without moving the other. Okay, there we have Arcee. So what they've managed to do with this is to keep the slender figure to begin with, while transforming to car. Arcee is one of the few, probably the only Transformer with thighs. I don't quite know why they felt the need to do that, and obviously to emphasise she's a girl, they then made it with a chest peak panel as well. It's unnecessary. They're robots. they don't have gender, and let's face it, Galvatron's got a chest panel like that as well. It's kind of a bit immaterial, but never mind. Colour scheme is very true to the original, as is the Princess Leia hairstyle, as well with the buns. So yeah, it all works pretty well. So it's a bit, when you pick things up, you have to be careful how you pick it up. Otherwise, don't hit the camera, otherwise everything goes off everywhere. So you've got knees, you've got fully posable legs there, she's still got the high heels. Arms do fully rotate like that. The hands, however, are sculpted. They have no movement at all, and they look quite delicate, which is tricky, particularly this gun is a very, very tight fit, so it will go in, but it's quite difficult for it to come out. Finally, the head has an excellent range of movement as well. So all in all, it is actually a very decent toy. Weapons-wise, so she does come with a pair of swords. So she can hold the sword, like so. Or, the swords do actually slot into her legs, like that as well. So she can hold them, or she can stow them away for easy draw as well. Gun-wise, so this is a new weapon that Arcee hasn't had before. It's quite a decent looking gun as well. I'm not sure why they felt the need to give pink parts on it. I mean, it's a gun, but nevertheless, there we go. And this one is a replica of the gun from the movie. This is the one that's actually quite tricky. I'm trying to hold it such a way you can actually see it. There we are. It's actually quite tricky to fit in her hand. But however, if you want to do as the movie, you kind of got to put it in. Sorry. So we'll just put the put the swords back down like so, and I'll just show her with the weapons as well. So big gun goes in first, and then you've got the other weapon in too. So it goes in quite well. It just doesn't come out quite so easily. So in terms of actual weaponry, Arcee has probably got the biggest weapons of any Transformers now, in that she comes not only with two guns but also with two swords as well. So much so there's obviously more weapons here that she can handle, and that kind of makes up for the fact that they've obviously made her stylised, even a little bit sexist in the way she's actually been made. But as she's now demonstrated as a warrior and comes with the tools to do it, and it's taken from the IDW version where she is an assassin as well, it works very well. Height-wise, well, she compares very well with the classics release of Hot Rod. Hot Rod's a bit more bulkier, as one might expect, but they're a similar height, and it works pretty well. And even when you compare with the G2 release of Talon, again, it actually fits in pretty well there. Height-wise, obviously Talon's much smaller, but actually they don't look too out of place. So yeah, it's a good toy. I don't know if it was necessarily worth waiting all those years for Arcee to come out. However, it's glad that she is, and actually she's come out really well too. It's a toy that you can be pleased to own. Colours are obviously G1 original. It comes fully loaded with loads of weaponry as well, so it's a very good release. My one criticism is that arms, particularly the hands, do feel very delicate. When I took the gun out to transform her, I had to be really careful it didn't break, and frankly I'm surprised it didn't. So that's perhaps my one criticism, is I think the hands look really delicate because it's a very thin layer of plastic and the gun is perhaps a little bit too tight. Otherwise, it's a great toy. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Goodbye.